remember when you told me people used to take off your signs?
Basically, in France, we have signs everywhere, but way more than here, I feel like. And in the morning, I was checking my signs because Julia Grollier was everywhere. And I'm like, okay, one was missing here, one was missing here. And I think it's also because I was by myself in this office and it was like 4 other brokers. They even put glue in my door so I cannot access my office. They tow away my car. I mean, that was tough. There is some day I was like, oh my God, I'm really made for that?
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of How Many Millions? I'm Rebecca RDeRogatis and I'm with my co-host
Julia Grollier. Hi guys.
And today I think you're gonna like our subject.
Yeah.
It's about women leadership.
I love it.
Powerful women. And I want to start because Miami, I don't know if you know this, but was basically the first person in Miami to build was a woman called Julia Tuttle. Did you know that?
I love
She's
this
like
story.
an American businesswoman.
Very empowering, yeah.
Yeah. I felt so good about that when I found out a couple years ago that a woman was the one that built Miami.
Yeah.
I feel like this is the place where we should be.
Exactly.
Have those great example before us.
And she has the same first name as I am.
Yeah, Julia.
Julia.
It's maybe a sign, Julia. It's a sign.
I think that's a sign. I believe in that.
So yeah, I felt very empowered by that.
Yeah. One story I want to talk about today is the story of Alicia Cervera.
Oh, I love this story. Guys, you need to listen to this because this is great.
She's super inspiring.
Yeah.
She's our leader and mentor, and not a lot of people know about that. But she arrived when she was early 40 with 2 daughters. She didn't know how to, she was not a fluent English speaker. And she started working at real estate, no background real estate at all.
Yeah, no matter.
And she started seeing then the zoning was changing in Brickell and downtown, because I don't know if you know about that, but Brickell and downtown back in the day was only
single family
home. You cannot build any high rise. And the zoning changed. And what she did, she started writing letter to all those big developers in New York and South America. And eventually one said yes after many turned down. And another one said yes. And she started meeting more people and advertising even more about all the zoning change. And then she has a whole group of developers saying yes and building. And then she starts developing.
That must have been hard for her.
Yeah.
That must have been hard to, have that first no and then keep going and have that yes finally.
Exactly.
And then keep working.
But I think her strength is because she really thought outside the box. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, this is an opportunity. Who I need to talk about this opportunity.
Yeah,
you know?
That's great. That's amazing that she was able to think outside the box, see the opportunity, see the zoning changes as an opportunity, and then
see out. The vision. Also, you need to see the vision that how Miami gonna be looking.
Yeah, of course.
Look like, and so she started building and selling downtown, Brickell, Coconut Grove, Edgewater, and south of Fifth, and now she has even her own street. I don't know if you know about that.
That says a lot. When you have your own street. And on your name, that says a lot about
and
what
in Brickell, it's not like in Brickell.
In Brickell.
So very inspiring. Yeah. So
we're next. Well, our names are gonna be on the street.
Exactly.
Save this video and tell us that in a couple of years, because our names are gonna be in the street too.
So did you have any moment where it's like, oh my God, you feel so proud of a transaction or something with a client who make you feel like, you know what? I'm made for that and I'm going to keep pushing.
Yeah, my first few deals, that's how I felt after, I felt very proud when my client had the best deal. We signed, we closed.
Yeah.
And he came to me and he was like, thank you.
Yeah.
And then, you know what? We kept doing deals.
Exactly.
And he kept coming back and we kept
the best
working
reward.
together. Yeah. So I feel very proud of that. And I love my client for that and following me and keep working with me because, at the end of the day, they see the value in working. Like you say, your clients also, I'm sure, say that to you.
Yeah.
Loyal, you negotiate well, you're not afraid, you're a go-getter.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day.
And
they love working.
Yeah, and they refer to you. I feel like that's the best compliment anyway.
The referrals are the best compliment, definitely.
Yeah, and that reminds me when I started in France, my broker, my first job as a real estate agent in France, my broker fired everybody in the office. It was south of France, and I was the only real estate agent. That was my first job. He mentored me for like 3 days. You have 3 days to learn everything, because after that you're going to be on your own. And then that was not easy because it was a lot of hard work. Like I was working like 12 to 14 hours per day, try to make it appointment. And you know how it is as a realtor, like you learn as you doing it.
And I love your story. I love hearing your story, because you also told me the bad side, if I can.
Yeah.
I want to talk about it. I want the people to know, because she was ready to do anything to sell properties in that. You remember when you told me people used to take off your signs?
Yeah, so basically in France we have signs everywhere, but way more than here, I feel like. And in the morning I was checking my signs because Julia Grollier was everywhere. And I'm like, okay, one was missing here, one was missing here. And I think it's also because I was by myself in this office, and it was like 4 other broker agency in the same street, and there were like maybe around 10 per office, and I was by myself. Why this one by herself
has her name
was everywhere and we cannot do it? So like it was like sometimes wars. Yeah, like I even put glue in my door so I cannot access my office. I tow away my car. I mean, that was tough. There is some day I was like, oh my God, I'm really made for that? But I learned then if you have hater, it's because you're doing something right. You know, if people
let's pause on that. If you have haters, you're doing something right. I like that.
If you have hater in your industry, you know the competition who hate you is because you're doing something right. Better than them, and then jealousy.
I like that.
Is everywhere. But yeah, so that was tough, but that was a good learning experience. Like all those years as a realtor in France, I learned a lot. And that helped me like transitioning to Miami real estate market, who's different, but challenging as well.
It's a tough game out here because Miami real estate is no joke. We have competition, but if you're not on
a
top
lot
of
more
your work,
competition, I feel like, than in France.
In France, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so you need to be your best all the time.
All the time. Yeah. You have to be on top of your things. You have to have values. You have to have...
Yeah, talking about value, I think this is really important to have good value because we have a license and we need to follow certain rules. And if I have a client who's like, come and tell me, yeah, you should do that, and this is not in my value, I will turn him down. Like, I have no problem doing that. Yeah, I have no problem doing that. Because
you don't want to find yourself in situations that you don't want to be with. We don't have time to waste.
Exactly. And then you have a reputation. Your reputation, you need to guard it. So everybody will know if you do something wrong. So you need to be super precise on everything you're doing. I think like Miami teach me as a realtor, then you need to be more. It's like your own business. It's really
you're running your own business.
You're running your own business, so you need to do everything perfectly for your clients, and then that's going to be your reward anyway. Because if you make a client happy, it's going to refer you,
and then your business is going to keep growing from there.
Yeah,
I completely understand, and I completely agree with what you're saying. Because if we are where we are today as business, with our business, it's because we knew how to say no to certain unethical or demands that were iffy, and we knew how to hustle and go get it when
I feel like here you need to really go get it.
Yeah, you don't have time.
Go-getter. Yeah,
it's not like in France, Yeah, where you have time to look at what other people is doing. We don't look at other people other people are doing. We're focusing on our business and what we have to do to make it, and what we have to do for our clients, and we don't have time to look at other people. And that's what I like about the US in general, and especially Miami, because Miami doesn't sleep.
And we also dealing with a lot of business owners. So because we have the same mentality, I feel like we connect even better
with them.
Because
we understand their
exactly.
We understand their needs. We understand their time. We understand what we have to do for them.
Yeah.
So we don't waste their time. They don't waste ours, and
we go straight to the point, make a successful deal, and keep it moving.
And then another thing. I don't know if I can say it on camera, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I used to work with other agents when I started, and I left. We're not gonna talk about the reasons, but all my clients followed. And you know why they followed me? Because we have values.
Yeah.
We trustworthy, and we're building wealth together.
Exactly.
They
make money, we make money.
Everyone's happy at the end of the day.
It's the same with me. I have clients from France, then I was doing deal with. They're coming to USA, Julia, because we trust her. We know then if we go with Julia, she's going to have our best interest. So, yeah, I feel like that's why it's so important to always be on our best,
Give the best,
Give the best advice, give the best. And sometimes I have clients who come and they give me that's not going to happen. You're never going to have 50% return on income. And we're not here to give financial advice because we work with a real estate coach who help them. But if that's not possible, or you want to have a mansion on the water for 1 million in Miami, I'm sorry. I'm not going to lie to you and say I'm going to, And the same with seller. If you want to sell your property for 3 million and it's only worth 1 million, I'm sorry, I'm going to let you know. I'm not going to take the listing and then it's just going to sit here and then you're not going to be happy with me and then you're going to go with, I just trying to be very transparent about everything.
Yeah, because some agents take listings, promise the client things that they cannot, at the end of the day, accomplish.
Exactly.
We don't do those kind of things.
Sometimes I'm like, okay, let's try. But this is my advice. You know, so you're gonna see at the end of the day, and usually I'm right,
Right.
But this is a process.
You have to educate also some new clients. You have to educate them.
Yeah. So we're here to really even when you start being an investor and then you have a successful story and then you buying more and more and more and you became also expert. Then this is the whole journey. We are here with you to help you because our goal is for you to make money, be happy, and have a successful experience. And also another thing that I want to add is real estate is always changing. The law is changing. There is also new thing that we need to learn. And I think we're not afraid of learning more. We always trying to find the new place who's hot, real estate is hot, what's happening in the city. This neighborhood gonna explode in few years, so you should invest over there. And I think this is also why we created this podcast, to tell you what's going on right away, so you have the best information right away. So I think this is pretty important for us to I think we're flexible on that. And if you ask us a question we don't know, we're gonna definitely find somebody who knows about it and give you the right answer.
We're not afraid of asking questions. We're not afraid of getting the right information for the client. This is important what you're saying, because real estate doesn't stop to just real estate. It goes, that's what we touch about on other things in the podcast.
Yeah.
Follow our episodes because we're going to come with a lot of information about Miami, everything that you need to know, things that people don't talk about usually. We talk about it here in the podcast.
Yes.
Is there anything that you wanted to add about that?
No, I think that's true. The podcast is a channel of information about Miami, and so you can learn a little bit more about this beautiful city. And when you're making
if you're making a real estate decision, you can come here and have all the information you need to make your decision.
Exactly.
When purchasing, investing, and renting in Miami.
Exactly. And building wealth. That's what it's about.
That's the main goal. This is what you have to remember for this episode. We building wealth here.
We're here to help you build wealth. We're building wealth together. Yeah. So I think we cover a lot today. Yeah. And hopefully you enjoy. Please share, comment, subscribe. And we're going to see you next time for another episode of How Many Millions?